Hi everyone, I haven't done one of these horror detour videos for a while, but I thought I would get back into it. And I wanted to talk to you in this video about an experience I had recently and how it's kind of made me think a little bit about the cinema experience. For horror fans especially, the cinema experience is it's a really peculiar one. It's unlike being obviously in the house, you sit and you're watching the television and sometimes you can feel the fear of kind of being isolated or on your own in a way in the house when you're watching a horror film, and so it can affect you that way. But when you watch a horror film in the cinema, the experience is completely different because you're watching it with a group of people. Because of the pandemic, a lot of people have moved away from that sort of experience. They've gone towards thinking that, well, why would I want to pay all of that money to go to the cinema and potentially have it ruined by somebody being rude or thoughtless when I can sit at home and have a great experience watching it on my high def television, whatever you have. And that, I understand that, but in going to see Alien and Aliens recently, it made me think about that sort of experience and made me realise as well that when you see a movie that you've seen time and time and time again, but you watch it on the big screen for the first time, it's a different experience. So I had never seen Aliens on the big screen. I had seen Alien, but when I'd gone to see Alien once before at the cinema, it was a 70mm print, I think, and my local cinema, or the cinema that I was visiting at the time, they managed to destroy that 70mm print. I think the day before, or even the day of the screening. So they then had to find a new print of the movie, and I'm sure whoever they had got the print from was probably furious that had happened. But the print that we ended up watching, it looked like it had been stored in vinegar. It was so scratched up and so degraded that I suppose there's an experience in that as well. But uh, we had paid to see this new, or well, not this new, but this restored film print of the movie, and we didn't get that experience. This version was digitally projected, and it was great. It was great to watch it on the big screen, as it was great to watch Aliens as well. I watch Alien and Aliens every year, at least once. I think most of the time I watch Alien probably more, but Aliens is a movie that's been with me for longer. I watched Aliens as a kid. I saw it first. I remember being told by friends when I was about 8 or 9, there's a movie before Aliens. My dad told me all about it, and I'm like, no, there's no film before Aliens. There is. It's called Alien. It sounded like a joke. Like, you just took the S away. But the reason that I hadn't seen Alien was it was never shown on television back then. We're talking about the 1980s here, everyone. And for some reason, it was never shown it was never made available at my local video shop. I'm not sure why that was the case. There may have been some reason for why places didn't rent them out. I've spoken to a few other people, and they seem to have had a similar experience where they couldn't rent Alien out back in the day. So there's probably some reason for that. But Aliens you could, and then in the director's cut, the special edition as it was called, you could, and I watched that many times. It was on television, taped it. I even have a version of Aliens where me and my friends, when we were about 12 or 13 years old, dubbed over the Alien, the dialogue from Aliens and a bunch of other movies. I don't think it would be appropriate for the channel, but it was a lot of fun doing that back in the day. My brother had linked up 2 video recorders, and we were able to dub the sound over the films that we were doing. Anyway, I digress. When I watched Aliens, especially, I don't know if it's that I just have watched it, and I don't have a lot of money, so I don't have like a really top of the range home cinema or anything like that. I don't even have a massive television in my living room. So I may have been watching these movies in substandard TVs over the years, but watching Aliens on the big screen, I noticed things that I'd never noticed before. The color of things was different. I remember looking at the design for the Alien Queen in behind the scenes documentaries, and they would show the Queen alien was this kind of like bluey sort of color, and I just didn't see that in the film normally. But then on the big screen, like you actually could see it. You could see it in some of the shots. You could see that the color of the Queen was quite different. There was stuff as well where like, and I don't know if this is just like my memory going, but there's a part in the movie where Ripley ducks under this pipe as she's going into the alien hive to save Newt, and sounded like my stomach was going there. I hope it's not a chest buster, everyone. Um, and and when Ripley goes into the hive to save Newt, there's this pipe that's like red hot with heat, and she ducks underneath it, and you hear all the hissing. From my memory, I'm like, I've seen her duck underneath that pipe before many, many times, but it wasn't this like really bright, vibrant, glowing red. These sound like small details that don't really matter, but because I prefer black and white photography over color photography, but color in a color film matters. It affects how we see the film, how we experience things. In any case, it sort of blew my mind that I felt like I was watching this movie that had been with me my entire life. I mean, I think Aliens came out in 1986, I think, and I was born in 1980, the very end of 1980. I mean, I have to stress, November. So, I mean, I'm not that old. Had I been born in June, no. So, watching Aliens, this film that's just been there with me all this time, was like, it was a strange experience, and it really made me feel like watching a movie on the big screen is worth it because the experience is different. I felt tense while watching those movies in a way that I didn't feel tense in the comfort of my own home. I didn't feel that sense of claustrophobia. I didn't feel that sense of fear of what's hiding in the shadows as much. So I think that when you're watching something on a larger screen, it affects you psychologically in a way that sitting at home watching the television doesn't. It affects you in some sort of subliminal way to make you feel that heightened sense of fear or tension or whatever the filmmaker was going for. And I was really surprised, like watching Aliens. I'm like, I know how this film ends. I've watched it 100 times. Why do I feel like nervous while I'm watching this? And that again reinforced for me that I need to reevaluate because I'm quite a solitary person in a lot of ways. I spend a lot of time. Obviously, I'm a writer by trade, so I spend a lot of time on my own, other than with my lovely family. But I'm in a room by myself in front of a computer screen for hours and hours every day. A lot of people have been in that situation since the pandemic, but I've been doing it for like a decade. And so you would think that, I think I'd fallen into that bad habit really of thinking like the cinema's, not that great of an experience and that it's not worth it because, the amount it costs and all this sort of stuff. Because I think this cinema is completely overpriced in the UK, and that's another topic, but completely overpriced. I mean, to the point where I don't know how families are able to like take their kids regularly to the cinema, whereas when I was a kid, you could regularly go to the cinema. It didn't cost that much. I'm starting to sound like an old man. Back in my day, so I guess what I'm saying is, first of all, have a go. Like if you see a film that you love and you've never watched it on the big screen, and it's not exorbitantly priced. I mean, this was really, really, really affordable. A lot of classic screenings are compared to modern movies. Go and see if you see things that you never noticed before, because it's made me start to think, well, I'm going to start doing that again. And I shouldn't really be surprised, I suppose, because like for years and years, every Christmas I would go to see It's a Wonderful Life at the cinema. And it is just like different experience from watching it on television. But just watching Aliens especially and feeling that sense of tension made me think, what other films that I love maybe don't have that effect on me that they should have, or that they were designed to, because they were designed to be shown in the cinema and not on television or on little screens like this. So anyway, have you been to see a movie at the cinema that you've seen loads of times before, and have you ever noticed something about it, I suppose is what I'm asking. Please excuse the ranty form of this video. I haven't done one of these for quite some time, and I'm a bit out of practice, and this is the first time I've used this camera and this sort of setup for this as well, so it's all a learning curve, everybody. So anyway, yeah, let me know about your experiences going to the cinema and watching films, especially horror movies, because I think horror movies are specifically designed in a lot of ways and are perfect for a cinema environment, sitting in the dark. And I think part of the thrill is getting scared with other people. Yes, there are people who ruin the experience, but being in a cinema, watching a horror movie, when it works, when you get that sense of tension rippling through everybody that's there, it's just one of the best film viewing experiences you can have, I think. So as long as if cinemas reduce their pricing, then I think I would definitely go. I'm talking as if like I've just discovered that. Hey everyone, have you heard about this thing called the cinema? It's quite new. Yeah, you should go. It's a big room, a big screen. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll be back soon with another horror narration or video like this. I'm not quite sure yet, but I hope you're all doing well, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.